to Bruery Society Beers, episode number 23 of Brutal Battle. So again, I have two beers for this one, not talking about any extra stuff, just doing the beers. These are both 750 milliliter beers. They're both higher in the ABV area and barrel-aged, which a lot of these beers are. One of them, the first one, I'm suspecting I'm not going to like it because this is a particular type of beer that the brewery's been doing more of lately, and I just haven't been a fan. Rebecca just hasn't been a fan. I really, honestly don't really know why they're doing this because I don't hear people really clamoring for these beers. It seems like maybe it's just more of like them really wanting to push this and them particularly liking it, but you never know. I mean, every beer has its fans out there for the most part, so they've got to have at least a small fan base to be doing this. So let me just go ahead and get into this first one. This is called Bragg Racer. It is a brandy barrel-aged Bragg ale with honey, raspberries, and Tahitian vanilla beans, and it is 20.1%. The thing about honey and fermenting honey, which is what a Bragg is all about, is that there's so much natural sugar in it that you can get super high ABVs relatively easily. So the reason we've not really been enjoying these beers is because they are so sweet, which makes sense because it's the base being honey, which is naturally extremely sweet. So a whole alcoholic beverage based around honey is going to be sweet, and it's just too much for us typically. I feel like when they're doing this, they need to be putting stuff in that's going to balance it out, maybe make it a little more bitter, maybe throw in some, darker, richer flavors to kind of balance out the sweetness. I don't know. But anyway, let's try this Bragg Racer, and then I'll read about it on the back, and we'll see. I'm not excited. But we're going to try it, because that's what we do here. All right, here we go. I'm not going to pour myself too much, because it is 20%. And nobody needs much of a 20% beer. Let's be honest. Okay. It's very brown. Around the edges, it's like an orangish brown, but yeah, it's a very brown-looking beer. It's got a little bit of head hanging out on the top, a few larger bubbles, mostly smaller bubbles, and it dissipates relatively quick. Super, super slow coming down the sides of the glass when you swirl it. Really has legs because of that high ABV. The color's pretty. It's pretty. Smell-wise, I am getting the vanilla. I'm getting a decent amount of vanilla. I'm getting, obviously, that sweet honey, which is the main note in there. I'm getting that appley brandy smell. That's really nice. I don't know if they use apple brandy barrels, but it does smell apple-like, so I'm assuming it was that. It does have that astringency in there, letting you know it's a much higher ABV beer. But the vanilla is actually smelling pretty good. I am getting the raspberries as well, and they are smelling nice and fresh and a little bit tart. So maybe the tartness of the raspberries, if they're enough, could help in balancing out the sweetness with this beer, but I don't know. It's a pretty good nose, but it's still like very honey. Very, very sweet honey, sickly sweet. All right, I'm going to go in and give it a shot. Yeah, I don't like it. Ooh, it's got like a plastic flavor on the finish. I'll take a few more sips just to do my due diligence because it could be something going on my palate and that'll settle down after a few sips. But first taste, it's very sweet honey. It is that apple note that I'm talking about, which I'm assuming is from the brandy barrel. It is burning ABV going down the back of your throat, and it is that plastic aftertaste. On the second sip, the raspberries are starting to come through. They're kind of low level. The vanilla is coming through relatively strongly, which I am enjoying that. It's so appley, though. Like, it's just really honey and apple. There is the raspberry there. There is the vanilla there. It's just, again, I'm not a fan of this type of beer. Like, the base is honey, and it tastes like honey. It tastes like super alcoholic honey with some other things added. Now, granted, this is the best Bragg or I think they call them all like their Bragg beers or their Bragg series of Braggets. I think this is the best Bragget I've had from the brewery, but it's just not for me. I don't really like it. Anyway, it's got this weird, with that plasticky finish to it, it's got like a weird bitterness on the end that's not very nice. All right, so what do they say on the back about it? Start your engines, it's race time. We've been enjoying our explorations into Bragget styles, obviously. And this is the next and most delicious step in that journey. Inspired by our 2021 pilot release, Bragg About It, this Bragget ale is bringing all the honey, fruity complexity on a beeline to your taste buds. After aging in brandy barrels we treated with honey, raspberries, and Tahitian vanilla beans. Yeah. The other thing is, man, this ABV is super high. It really burns. It is so much burning. Not into that. All right, so just going to go straight into the second beer, which I am way more excited about this one. I know Rebecca is very, very excited about this one. Hold on, let me get this little thing off the top. This is I'm Coco-Nuts About You. It is a double barrel-aged imperial stout with coconut and vanilla. Sounds awesome, relatively simple, but it could be awesome. It's all going to come down to how is the coconut done, because a lot of the times on the podcast, when there's coconut in beer, we have a hard time picking it up. You need to put a lot in for it to actually come through. This beer is 16.3% alcohol, and just so you know, both these beers are from 2022, so they're not even a year in the bottle. All right, open it up. And like I said before, these are both 750s, so. All right, I am excited about this one. Oh, what do you know? It looks like a stout. Ooh, man. As I'm pouring it, it's looking very creamy coming out. Love that. There's a decent amount of head on top. I'm assuming that creaminess is really coming from that vanilla. You can get a nice creaminess from vanilla in there. The coconut may be adding to it a little bit as well. Seems pretty carbonated, maybe a little bit overly carbonated in my opinion, because it is kind of like effervescent in there. All right. And it just looks dark, it looks like stout. Yep, sticking to the sides of the glass, and gonna go and smell it. This smells funky. There is something really weird in this, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. And by the way, I'm not using the exact same glass that I used for the Bragg Racer. This is a totally separate, clean glass. I'm getting the vanilla. I'm not getting coconut. Okay, actually, the more I sniff, when I take deeper sniffs, I'm getting a little bit of coconut. I am getting the vanilla. There's like a green coffee type smell in there, which is kind of weird because this doesn't say anything about coffee being in there. So I wasn't expecting that. There's also a slight banana smell, which is also extremely weird. I don't know why that is. A little bit of soy sauce note in there as well, which you can get with stouts. Why does this have a banana note? That's so odd. Okay, well, I'm going to go in and try it, see what's up. This beer is terrible. What is that? Oh my gosh. It's like tart. And it's not supposed to be. I think this is infected. Rebecca, I need you to jump in and just try this on podcast really quick. It's like really sweet and tart, and it should not be. This beer's infected. There is nothing about that is chocolatey notes from the stout. There's nothing about that that's coconut. There's nothing about that that's vanilla. This is disgusting. This is a QA issue, and shame on you, Bruery, for letting this go out. That's messed up. This beer's really bad. Rebecca, your thoughts? It tastes like a berry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's like, it's like tart and like sweet, and it's not at all what any of the flavors are supposed to be. I don't know if the barrels that they used were a problem, but this is a QA issue. This beer is really bad. Let's read about it on the back. Dear you, we have a confession to make. We're Coco-Nuts about you. Well, apparently not so much so, because if you were, you would give us a better beer, because this is trash. Love the Bruery. There's no better way to express your love than with beer. This double barrel-aged delight was treated with copious amounts of house-toasted coconut and vanilla for a perfectly sweet touch. Best paired with love notes and rom-coms. This is best paired with the Drain, because that's where it's going. That's terrible. I cannot believe that they would have put this out, because they are usually really good with their QC, and they'll actually wait on beers or not do beers if there's a problem like this. This is something that they should not feel good about. Oh my god, it's so bad. It's so disgusting. It's like you know when you have like a rag that just gets sour, like like the smell goes sour from it being used so much, and it needs to be cleaned. Like if that was a flavor, that's in there. And like I said, there's no flavor in this beer that should be in the beer. Like there's no vanilla, there is no chocolatiness from like the base stout. There is no coconut whatsoever. So all those ingredients they use went to complete waste. Wow. Well, this has been an extremely disappointing episode. I guess I'm going to be honest, the Bragg Racer wins, because this I'm Coco-Nuts about you is garbage. I still can't believe they actually put this out. That's terrible. Hopefully they hear this. They probably won't, but if they do hear this, you guys can't put stuff like this out. I mean, this is the type of stuff that will make people quit being members. I'm just being honest. Because we pay a lot to be members, and getting something like this, which is part of our allocations, makes people angry, like me. Again, the I'm Coco-Nuts About You Double Barrel Aged Imperial Stout with coconut and vanilla, that one loses horribly. And then the Bragg Racer is the winner of the episode. That's the Brandy Barrel Aged Braggot Ale with honey, raspberries, and Tahitian vanilla beans. So that is it. Hopefully everyone enjoyed listening to this. I didn't enjoy drinking these beers at all, but thank you for at least checking this out. I do appreciate it. And until next time, keep it brutal.